Hello and welcome to Change and Transition. My name is Joseph Edward Smith. I'm an Master's student at the University of the West of Scotland. I'm a songwriter and performer and an associate lecturer at Ayrshire College. Today in Change and Transition, we will be discussing the opportunities, the challenges and the individual experiences faced by our students here at UWS. Following their academic journeys throughout college, into university and hopefully beyond, this discussion will provide a platform for them to share their voice, their experiences and their feedback towards future students. So without further ado, I'd like to kick things off and introduce our first guest, Jack Sobilski. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to tell us a wee bit more about yourself and about the course that you're on here at UWS?
Of course. I'm Jack. I am a composer, a multi-instrumentalist, and a fourth-year student here at UWS. I'm studying commercial music, and in this last year we've had, I think it's been about 5 modules, which has been less than we've had before, because I had 2 modules that stretch over both semesters. Trimesters?
Trimesters, yeah.
Yeah,
Trimesters
trimesters,
are
that's the word. So we had CRP, which is our dissertation project.
Mm-hmm.
I had WRL, which is a placement one, where I get sent into the industry, and I find that like a job, pretty much. We had COMP, which is Communities of Music Practice, just what it is. We look at our communities of music practice. And then music, professional and creative identities, where we look at our music, professional and creative identities.
Superb. So just so we're not glossing over any of the facts there,
Right.
Tell us a wee bit more about your placements, man. Have you found the placements? Where is it you've been?
I have found a placement, and I have been teaching in a school, a music school, that is very close to my home. I was very lucky to find it.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to do video game placement, looking for video game music composition, stuff like that, but it all fell through, unluckily.
Happen, man.
And I found a music teaching position.
Fantastic, excellent. Communities of music practice. How is it you would describe your community of music practice?
It's very, very online, I would say. I'm very, very involved in online music creation.
Mm-hmm.
I currently, for my creative project, I'm doing video game music, which is taking place online.
Mm-hmm.
All the communication is online because all the members are international.
Right, they're all online.
All online, yeah. Yeah, my teaching is in person, obviously, but that's less of a community, you know?
Yeah, it's more about a professional kind of practice
Yeah.
approach you'd be taking there. Again, this is for the purpose of educating future students on what it's like to live the life of a student. What was the first inspiration that actually kind of brought you down this path, man? What was it that got you into wanting to design music for games?
It was actually this year when I was talking to my supervisor for my creative project, Ian Taylor.
We love Ian.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And I was talking to him about how I wanted to apply for secondary music teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked to me and he said, Jack, your creative project is creative. Why don't you go on and do something creative after uni?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's a brilliant idea.
That's it. Follow
So
suit.
I'll follow my creative project and I'll look to go into video games composition.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic, man. Thanks for sharing that.
That's no problem.
We're going to move over to Susan Traynor. Hello.
So, like Jack, I'm also on the commercial music 4th year project. Again, I'm doing the same modules, but instead of work-related learning, I'm doing advanced songwriting and performance.
Excellent.
Which there was a week of sort of intense songwriting, along with the Italians coming over as well, and doing a lot of songwriting and performance work, and then a performance on the Friday as well. And I really enjoyed that sort of immersive experience, something I hadn't really done to that extent before. I had done songwriting, but it was more just smaller sort of sessions of it rather than a full-on week and then performing at the end of it.
It can be quite intense. To tell
Yeah.
the truth, but it's brilliant.
It was so like energising, just like it gave me a passion for songwriting that I sort of rediscovered through doing it.
Mm-hmm.
As well as that, on the music and professional and creative identity, one last semester, again I was looking at secondary music teaching, and that is something that I wanted to pursue because a lot of my projects kind of focus around teaching in 2nd, 3rd year.
Yeah.
So again, continuing that, and I'd done a case study with my music teacher at school and looked into the benefits, sometimes the downfalls that can come with teaching, and how that could reflect into my own practice and what I can do to help improve my own professional development too.
Brilliant. That's actually quite a fantastic reflection. I think it's fair to say that you would appreciate the networks that you've actually already established before coming into the course, and utilising the ones that you've made within it. How important do you believe that is for future students to understand that connections and networks is truthfully almost everything in this industry?
It is a very big part of it. I think when I done my HND about 10 years ago, and then coming back into university, I was sort of out of the loop a wee bit. So then when I was talking to lecturers and meeting different industry professionals and then linking in with them to do projects, then I was like, okay, there's a whole world here for like funding, even community work, because that's a big passion as well. Try to bring people in the community, and those networks are so vital as a musician. It's definitely a key part.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. We're going to move on to Chloe Keane. Hello, Chloe. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
Good, good.
Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm actually studying at Ayrshire College currently. I'm part of the HNC Media Analysis and Production course. It's a very, very broad course. I cover just about everything, I feel like, in it. We do a bit of writing, we do photography, we camera operate, we direct, we cover just the broad spectrum of the creative industries, I feel.
Superb.
Right now, the biggest thing that we're doing is my graded unit, where we must commit to, I think it's an 8-minute to 10-minute documentary. I'm doing mine on Burns Cottage, so it's been really fun having to navigate that, go gather up my interviews and my crew. It's been like a really new experience for me as well, because I've never had to do an external interview like that before. And it's given me a lot of valuable experience already, and I haven't even like gotten to the filming stage of it yet. This is all pre-production.
That's it. I feel as if it is more about the process that you go through,
Yes.
and how you can take that forward into future projects. It's about understanding the actual underpinnings that goes on behind the scenes.
Yes.
Pardon, I think that was a pun, maybe. Somewhere in there. How do you feel about the next steps for you coming into the likes of university? I mean, feeling prepared and feeling confident about what you're going to do?
Very confident. I feel like I've been at this course for about 3 years. I started out in intro, then I went to NQ, then I went to HNC. And the lecturers there have like really, really prepared us for university life, I feel. They are sitting us down constantly, they're talking us through it. Even with the modules that we're doing right now, they stress the importance of like what we are doing, this process, this experience, and how like important it's going to be into that transition for university. So it's left me feeling very, very confident about my place here.
Excellent. That's really good to know, actually. That's quite
Yeah.
confident. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to swing us round. That's good that we've got the bios out the way. Yep, and we understand the courses and everybody's steps what they're taking. Jack, coming back to you for a second.
Yep.
Can you share some of the experiences you've had on the course for the undergraduate for commercial music, man? What kind of opportunities have opened up to you?
I would say similar to Susan's experience. I took part in the advanced songwriting, and that was brilliant. It really lit a fire in me for songwriting and composition, where before I was really not interested in it.
Aye, quite.
It just wasn't really something
One-track
that I wanted to
minded,
do,
man, just wanted to stick to your own lane.
and it was brilliant. You know, and we met Italian people, we met Dutch and Belgian classmates who came over for the week, and it was brilliant. Yeah, the best experience I've had in uni.
Excellent, man. It's fantastic having the opportunities to work with international students. We feel, obviously, with UWS, the undergraduate degree, you get the Barry Mast Academy in Italy, you get the Eurogig exchanges and the Erasmus, and that is fantastic for the uni because collaboration-wise, how did you feel? Are you usually quite a kind of collaborative nature?
I would say before I took part in the songwriting, I was very much a solo artist.
Quite close,
And then I went into this full week of intensive songwriting, and the first day I was put in a band with 3 people, and we just had to write a song.
That's it, just crack on.
And that was it. We exchanged names, and then that was it. We just started writing, and it was brilliant. It really put me at my shell.
Superb, man. Did you two ever collaborate together?
I don't think so. Maybe in first or
Music
second
and
year.
Brief in second year. I think there was a wee sort of crossover, which was quite cool because I think it was like an accordion country thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, a wee bit out of your comfort zone, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think because I was direct entry to second year as well, it was sort of okay, you're going into a room with people that have already sort of they're
Done this
comfortable
before,
and but no, it was great just to actually collaborate.
Excellent. On that note about direct entry, that's a fantastic wee point. So I was third year direct entry. How is it you felt the transition was coming between college and then straight into uni? How did you feel that worked coming in the second year?
So with that, so I done my HNC and D back in 2014, and then had a wee bit away and got some life skills, done an apprenticeship, decided, no, what, music is what I want to do, focused back on that, and then direct entry to second year. It was sort of like coming back into the academic side of it, so I had a wee bit of a gap in there, but it was definitely worth just. Again, it's just kind of throwing yourself into it again. I wouldn't, if I'd went straight in, there maybe not have been just as much of a sort of...
Kind of bump.
Yeah. But once I was into it, it was pretty smooth sailing from there.
Excellent, fantastic. Chloe, yourself, you mentioned before that you'd actually been to Strathclyde University.
Yes, I
Do you
have.
want to tell us a wee bit more about that? Because I think that's interesting as hell.
Yes, so there was a period of time where I kind of struggled with secondary school. I'm going to have to give context there.
No, it's okay. Take your time.
And I ended up getting pulled into this employability course. As a result, they scouted me out, said I'd be a perfect fit, and I was like, no, what? Yeah, I'll go into it.
Go for it.
So because it was an employability course, like I got a lot of opportunities through that, and one of them was to go to Strathclyde University. And I went, no, what? I might as well. It's a business course. It's quite broad. It will give me like something good for my CV. And on top of that, the biggest bonus was the work experience there, as if I had completed the first half of my education there, it meant that I could go work with STV. And that experience was something that stood out to me immediately, because before I even got into media, I was very big on artistry. Want to be an artist, want to be an animator. I still do art as well, I'm a digital artist. But when I found out, that this could lead me down another path, I was like, okay, like I'll go on STV, did that, and then I was brought up to the broadcast course on top of that. And that's kind of what led me down that pipeline of like, okay, so let me try media now. Like, let me just keep smooth sailing. And then by the end of that first year, I was absolutely like clued into it. I was like, I love this. I want to keep doing this. And I'm still here to this day, so clearly I
That's
still
a good
love it.
sign, aye.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. You've really actually described the importance of a portfolio career there. You're still in touch with the artistic side of things that you do. And is there any key points you would say on how one's crossed over with the other, most recently at college, and how it's taken you forward?
For my experience at Strathclyde being business, that actually helped me a lot with the advertising side. It came with in my film course, I would say, that really crossed over. I think when we started first discussing it, I think I was the only one who was aware of what like a marketing plan was, for example. I was the only one that kind of knew, like, you need to keep in mind like the different types of advertisements out there. It's not all television. Like, it can be in your newspaper, it could be at your bus stop, it could be on transport.
Direct and indirect marketing.
Yeah.
There's different strands.
Yeah, there's so many different strategies, and even then when you are looking at what you would see in your television as well, like there's so many different advertising styles, and then you're not even getting to radio at that point.
No.
So I was the only one going into that. I already had like a huge advantage because I already knew a lot of like what went into that. So that crossover like really, really helped me out, and when like I progressed more and more, it's just something that I found myself really leaning into, especially when we had to organise like film festivals and things like that, as we needed to figure out how to advertise that and get the word out that like, yeah, this is an event we're holding, we need people to come. And it's just really helpful, I would say. Like, exactly.
Excellent, that's absolutely brilliant. Again, everything just kind of layers up, and it's supporting
Yes.
the next steps and the next steps. And I'm quite excited to see how you going from college and hopefully coming into university,
Hopefully.
where you might end up next.
I would love to see that.
Certainly, portfolio careers, they're the way forward, no joke.
Definitely.
We'll come back out to Jack. Jack, I'm going to ask you, man, what are the kind of challenges you think that you've faced throughout your time here at UWS? What's the kind of, no setbacks, but maybe the biggest potholes that you would avoid the next time if you were to do it again?
I think a big one I faced was not taking part as much as I should have. You know, so in class I wouldn't raise my hand, wouldn't answer questions, wouldn't put myself forward for anything. And I think now in my fourth year, I'm only now starting to realise how much I missed because I started putting myself forward more.
Feeling a bit left out?
I mean, yeah, just a wee bit left out. That's a good way to put it. And it's yeah, if I could go back to the start, do it all over, I'd definitely participate more.
Excellent. I think that's a really good bit of advice for future students to understand that The opportunities might not be something that you're looking for at first. It might be something way left wing, somebody says it and you're like, I don't really know if that's for me. It's really important that you take the opportunities because you don't know where that's going to lead to next and who's listening, who's watching, and the networks that surround what's going on, and what can come from that. Exactly. A wee story of mine on that note is kind of the scratch nights we do at UWS. So on Thursdays, I think it's one Thursday a month, you get into Snug, you pick up a guitar and you have a bash. One of my pals was meant to do it and she didn't turn up. And next thing you know, somebody just threw me a guitar and I thought, here we go. Turns out one of the lecturers had put me forward for the Eurogig exchange. Before I knew it, I was playing in Harley's and Mulligan's, I think it was, in there. And then 2 months later, I was sitting in Italy. And that's all because I decided it's not really my thing, but let's see how it goes. Aye. They're the kind of opportunities we want to make aware to people that are coming to UWS or just university in general, that these are the kind of things that can come from it. Likewise, Susan, any challenges?
I think at first collaborating was sort of difficult with some of the sort of earlier modules. Because I think it was second year where you make a band and you have to sort of delegate and who's going to be doing the recording, who's doing the mixing, photography, making up logos. It's a lot being kind of thrown at you, but it's really great to sort of like just embrace it and go with it. Because I love that part of it, but it's just to get everybody thinking that same way, it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
And I think at times that can be a wee bit of a challenge. But it was a great experience just to kind of be in that environment, maybe not in a band that we like put together like outside, a bit more relaxed, but with the deadlines too. But yeah, no, it was great just to sort of throw ourselves into it and let's make something out of it.
Superb. I was going to say, do you feel that obviously between second year and fourth year, and maybe with some of your peers, do you believe there's an extent of professional maturity that's came throughout the degree? Because I think that's something people often look over.
100%, yeah. I think definitely as we've went on, you start to realise, okay, I'm sort of now in a professional environment. Although you are still a student, you can be doing things out there like I know some people on the course that are managing bands and they're doing really well with that, among other things as well, just within the industry. And having that experience and people around you doing that different kind of things, it makes you aware of things you might not be aware of before. And it just sort of makes you think in a more professional way as well, like, well, the other opportunities are there. I could do that if I wanted to. Like, I just need to sort of put my mind to it and go for it.
And go for it, that's it. I think that's a really great way of putting it. It kind of inspires you and encourages you to step your game up as well when you're surrounded by it. But also, I do believe that first and second year, you do get the chance to take things a bit slower, okay? You get to know the ins and outs, but definitely the development of your personal and professional growth in third and fourth year is really where it starts to kick in. This is serious, this is a career, this is a progression path that I need to take seriously. And it's nice to hear from students how that stuck in the middle of it, how that feels. Likewise yourself, Chloe, have you faced any challenges and do you have any solutions?
I think the biggest challenge for me was actually speaking up and advocating for myself throughout my course. We were chucked into a lot of random groups for a lot of the years, and sometimes you do just work with people who you dislike or you don't get along with. It's nothing like bad.
That happens.
Like, yeah, it happens. But back then I was like really nervous to speak up and like say no, I'm not comfortable with this. And as a result, I felt like sometimes I would be pushed around, sometimes the work quality would just be not up to standard. And I feel like it's really important to like really, advocate for yourself, speak up, stand up, make your presence known as well. Especially when you're trying to network as well. Like, you want to stand out as an individual. Don't let yourself fade into the background. And like furthermore as well, like if you're going to be collaborating with people as well, I feel as though sometimes it's not fair to them either. If you're just going along with everything without giving them any feedback, without really sitting there and communicating. And I would say that that is a challenge that I really had to work hard to overcome in my first year. And I came out better for it in my second year because I was able to get into contact with so many people. I was able to like actually talk to my classmates for a change as well. And not just my classmates either, just like other students in general. It meant that my world like really opened up. Like, the importance of networking, as you've said before, like it really shone out to me as soon as I started speaking out. I was like, oh God, I should have been doing this
Should've
the
done
whole
this from the
time.
beginning. I will preach networking till forever. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I do think that's fantastic. When people think of confidence, particularly for music students, you know what I mean? For yourself in any creative practice, it's about being able to go up on stage, it's being able to deliver. Again, the confidence within yourself to come through and start taking these chances and these opportunities. To remember that when you're collaborating with people, this is a discussion. You can't let people away with things, you know what I mean? But there's a way and a professional attitude to take forward.
Yes.
Do you feel as if that's something that was really developed throughout your time at college and uni?
Definitely, yes. Like, if you were to look at me, like, before I had to came to that course and afterwards, it's two completely different people now.
Aye.
Like, I wouldn't even be sat here today, for example. It's something that, like, it really shone through. It did.
Aye. Fantastic. Excellent. We are moving back to Jack. I like this week in a circle thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice rotation.
yeah. We're kind of coming to a close, Jack. I'm going to ask if you've got any kind of feedback, any kind of advice that you would offer to future students of UWS, undergraduate in commercial music, or just life as a student in general.
Yeah. Take advantage of everything you can at UWS. You know, they have studio rooms.
Mm-hmm.
They have recording equipment.
Yep.
They have musical equipment. If you want to learn, you can just book a session
Mhm.
and just take a guitar down.
Yep.
And just learn for a while.
I think the uni's quite good for accessibility in that sense.
100%.
There's a lot of things that you want to get stuck in. If there's anything you want to try, whether it's making documentaries, as I'm battling with just now, working with broadcast departments, everything's kind of there at your fingertips. You just need to take advantage and get stuck in.
You just have to reach out and grab it.
Exactly. Fantastic. Susan, what about yourself?
I think definitely embracing the sort of environments, like Jack said, there is a lot there. And again, I maybe haven't tapped into it as much as I should have till sort of fourth year. Using the live rooms, using the rehearsal rooms as well, and just kind of like even other departments as well, just sort of embracing that. It's definitely a big part of what makes it a brilliant experience, especially when it comes to commercial music.
That's it. Fantastic. And Chloe, what about yourself? Any advice you'd give?
I would say to embrace change and to remember to take a breath.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be so much that will be happening, and like, it's not always for the worst. Like, just go with the flow, just see where it takes you. And if it does feel overwhelming, just remember to take a wee breath, take a wee bit of time for yourself. Remember that your classmates are probably in the same position as well.
That's
You're
it.
not alone going through it. Just make sure to have fun while you're learning, you know?
That's it. Everybody's in the same boat. I'd like to finish on that note again, as one of the advice I would give is about resources. Students in our masses are a resource. As you say yourself, it's about networking between different departments. You can work with journalism students, sound production students, anybody that you can get your hands on to actually get the most out of your experience and make the best of your projects is what you should do to take it forward, and you'll be fine. But yeah, that is us. That is perfect. I'd like to thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you
It's
for
been a good
having
wee
us.
discussion.
Thank you for having us on.
Yep, hopefully we've gave a few people a couple of things to think about if you're considering university. I'd just like to thank UWS Broadcast Department and the Media Department for helping us host this wee event today, and we'd like to wish anyone considering university the very best of luck in the future for joining us, especially at UWS. Thank you very much. Goodbye.